So today is January 5th. January 5th, 2023. So Happy New Year to me, right? January 5th, 2023. Now January 5th is when New York is going to send some reinforcements to Fort Sumter. So January 5th, 2023. I just want to document a crime. Noah Spalding is a criminal through and through. So I go to get some errands today. I go to the mailbox. I go check my... There's a house I'm building in Costilla County, so I check my house. I check my mail. And then I go and get some kerosene. Then I go and get some kerosene from Manassah at the service station. So this is actually, put some miles. It's about, 30 minutes to the mailbox, 30 minutes to the house, 30 minutes to the Manassah. So I had to get some errands done today, January 5th, 2023. Now, when I get to Manassah, that Noah Spalding, he's the one that drives the Impala, and the Impala had tinted windows. So I'm just standing in the back of the bed of my truck, getting kerosene, taking the pump and pouring the kerosene in the containers. And I believe it's Noah Spalding. It's his fucking car. Either it's him or somebody stole his fucking car, which that doesn't make sense. Impala, tinted windows, pulls right there in between the shop and the pumps, and is sitting there staring at me. And so I think the worst, right? I think it's some criminal piece of shit. You got a problem with a bunch of criminals over there in Labato Bridge. And then he drives around, and he's doing it to intimidate me. And I don't know how far he had actually been following me, because I kind of took my time and I didn't notice myself being tailed. But once I parked, he parks there and then drives real slow around me and then stops right there and then drives on. He's done that before. So January 5th, 2023, Noah Spalding apparently tracked me down to Manassah, which is 30 minutes away from my house. So I'm not allowed to check my mail. I'm not allowed to check my house. I'm not allowed to get kerosene. He's a criminal fucking piece of shit. He's a stalking piece of shit. The Labato Bridge is where those child molesting Nazis were. Those child molesting Nazi criminal motherfuckers. The sovereign right-wing movement used to be over there. Ricky Rodriguez made that arrest. After Ricky Rodriguez made that arrest, I think that was the death knell for the right-wing sovereign movement. And if they're such tough guys, there's a "Don't Tread on Me" flag right down the damn road. That's the right-wing sovereign movement right there. That's "Don't Tread on Me," a.k.a. right-wing sovereign movement. Don't tread on you. I'm sure they're lawful people. I'm sure they got their permits with planning and zoning. I'm sure they're against racism. I'm sure they're against child abuse. That's my three-pronged test. So that way we don't have this right-wing sovereign movement bullshit. And you should also probably read the Constitution and vote. And so my goals are to raise an abuse-free household in a crime-free neighborhood in a civil society. Now, with the way I understand, goddamn, if I run into somebody like me, like anti-racism, if you're saying, oh my gosh, is that person racist? And it's like you found out that he's the biggest anti-racist in the world, wouldn't you celebrate? I would. For 40 goddamn years, I haven't met any anti-racists in my entire life. I would celebrate. I'd throw a jubilee. So the same thing with civil society. You want a civil society? You're anti-crime. You're pro-law and civilization and constitution and federalism and the Bill of Rights. The great thing about the Bill of Rights, it gives you a lot of legal things you're allowed to. How can you resist? How can you stand up for yourself? You can be a criminal piece of shit and you can do this stalking bullshit. Now, Robert Pickerel, he did that stalking bullshit to me, too. Robert Pickerel pretended that he was under siege, and then he stays over at my house for 3 days. He had a gun in his hands. Robert Pickerel had a rifle in his hands. Where did he get that damn rifle at? And he didn't give a shit about planning and zoning. He wasn't worried about being lawful. He didn't give a shit at all. But Robert Pickerel had followed me out of my house. When I go into Antonito, he's sitting there just tailgating the shit out of me for about a mile right before the first stop sign in Antonito. Cano's Castle's right there to the right-hand side. So Robert Pickerel's stalking me out of my house. Noah Spalding stalking me out of my house. I'm 50 miles away now. And I got stalkers over here. I wonder if the people that I've witnessed, Noah Spalding and Robert Pickerel, if the ones I've witnessed doing the stalking are the same one. I bet you there's a connection. Robert Pickerel, he's not over there anymore. Now, it was real important to deliver Robert Pickerel some goods. Very, very important. He's anti-planning and zoning. He's there to harass anybody who is good and respectable and lawful in the neighborhood. So since I've been charged with a felony and I'm calling for a jury trial, well, he needs to show up for the jury trial because he's the main witness. He's the main witness. The most important thing, Mr. Casey had to deliver the goods to Robert Pickerel, the most important thing in the world. But if it was so important, how come he hasn't been living there for over a year now? Don't see his truck over there. There's no new anything. I saw his cistern was flipped over. Now, he didn't fuck with planning and zoning. He didn't waste any time or money with planning and zoning, and he was able to build his house. I never got my house completed. So Robert Pickerel isn't there. He hasn't been there for months. He hasn't been there since September, over a year. I haven't seen him for over a year. But, you know, he's going to need to show up for jury trial. And if he doesn't show up, then we're going to have to ask everybody around him to show up that way. Have you seen him? Do you know any information about the whereabouts of Robert Pickerel? So Noah Spalding, I stayed over there for 2 years, in 2020 and 2021. So I had to, unfortunately, I tried to be a neighbor to these assholes. But that didn't work. I want people to be kind to me, so I'm kind to others, right? That's the golden rule. But apparently, they're too smart for me. You're being kind for another reason. Nope. Just wanted you to treat me the same way. That was it. Stupid motherfucker. But Noah Spalding likes to binocular people and their families. So while I've been under siege and I've been holding my fort down, but every time I go to the grocery store, these people are following me everywhere I go. What's Noah Spalding? So I called somebody from Kentucky, and I was able to go to the grocery store, but I was driving back and forth. Well, hell, he doesn't want that to happen. Man, I have such a good work ethic. I'd like to live in a neighborhood where I could go for 50 to 60 hours and work at my business, work at a job, and come back and know that everything's in one piece. But I can't do that because you got Noah Spalding that lives in the goddamn neighborhood. He likes to binocular people and their families. You know what I've never done to Noah Spalding? Binocular him and his family. He's like, oh my gosh, he's got some family member over there. Noah Spalding is binocularing people. He drives up to the top of the hill to binocular people. He's into adrenochrome. He just talks about adrenochrome on and on and on. Shut the fuck up, Noah. I don't want to know about your adrenochrome fucking addiction, motherfucker. Noah owes me like $200 for all that dog food he stole. Every time I would go to get some lumber, go to the grocery store, there's Noah's dog stealing my damn food. You think he gave a shit? You think he gave a shit my dog was trespassing and stealing and breaking in my house? Nah, he's a criminal fuck. He don't give a shit what he does to other people. Old Dirtweed, he didn't apologize. He didn't say, oh man, sorry about that. He don't have a conscience. Old Dirtweed never felt bad about it. He's a criminal through and through. Noah Spalding is also a notorious liar. Everybody knows that Noah Spalding is a notorious liar. I haven't met a single person who says that he's not a pathological liar. He's also a pipsqueak. He's a pipsqueak. He's a runt. He's a half pint. He's a squirt. I remember I was kind to him when we first met. I had bought him dog food. I had used my truck to go get drywall for him and then helped put the drywall up for him. I let him borrow my damn ladder. I was kind to him. I was treating him like a neighbor. You think he gave a shit? Fucking prick. He's a piece of shit. He was acting like I was being kind to him because I was scared of him or something. No, you being a piece of shit though is making me nervous. I'm sitting here being kind and you're being a piece of shit. The fuck is the matter with you, you fucking pile of shit? What the fuck? So he's a pipsqueak, he's a run, he's a half pint, he's a squirt, he's a liar, he's an insecure liar. When Tecumseh was murdered viciously, they just moved into the neighborhood. Noah and Nick number 2. Noah Spalding, and I don't know Nick's last name. Nick number 2 suggested that I go to the person's house who I suspected of doing it and confronting that person. I suspected it was Troy. And I should have done that. I would have got, some information. I would have figured something out. And I do regret not doing that, but I didn't know that was the America I played in. I didn't know that's the game that violent and dangerous Nazis play. I didn't know that. Nick number 2 had suggested to go over there and to confront Troy to see if it was him. But Noah immediately said not to. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Well, what's up, Mo? He's going to drive all the way to Manassah, waste all that gas, all that time, stalking. Noah Spalding is a punk-ass pile of shit. He is a punk-ass pile of shit. He heard somebody murder my little puppy and immediately he's on the side of the criminal fucks because that's who the fuck he is, a fucking criminal fuck. But I didn't realize that apparently we could just go around hitting folks. We could just be rude to people and just go around hitting folks. And I grew up in a violent household, so maybe I should have known that. But I've always been a lawful person, and I believe in the golden rule. So if you're nice to others, that should come back, right? Karma says if you're kind to others, then that kindness comes back. If you're crappy to others, then that crappiness comes back. How come it's not working now? Jordan Peterson says to be a monster. He says to learn how to use your sword, but then keep your sword sheath. So learn how to be a monster, but then learn how to control it. Well, that's interesting. Because when I think about if I have to go to jail, I'm not going to get raped for 3 years, so I have to join a gang, and I'm sitting here thinking about which gang that I'm going to join. I'm not going to join the Nazis, so I have to join Cineola, the Three Kings or something. And I'm a little sad about that because I like who I am, but for 40 years, being nice, polite, kind, lawful hasn't got me anywhere. It hasn't gotten me anywhere. And I wonder if that's just a thing, what Jordan Peterson says. People don't confront dangerous people, but they'll confront Jesus Christ, somebody that turns the other cheek. Rhythm Zero says the same thing. If you don't protest, if you don't resist, the people will kill you just for the fuck of it. So when I think about joining the Three Kings or the Cineola while I'm in jail, it's going to change me, right? It's going to change me. I'm going to be a different person. And I'm sad about it. But one thing I'm not sad about is if I joined the Three Kings, I would have a family, I would have a brotherhood, and I'd be allowed to defend myself. You're goddamn right I'd be allowed to defend myself. When I was building my house over there, I saw my future daughter Oksana walking down the steps to her prom. That's what was inspiring me to continue to build, even though, I've had hardships. I saw my family. And I saw Oksana walking down the steps to her prom. Now all I see is these stalking pieces of shit having their way with her, doing whatever the hell they want to. And I'm sitting there, I basically resolved that I have to defend myself, even if none of you assholes want to believe what the hell I'm saying. And if my young experiences of Kathy and Lucy, they hit me and then made me apologize to them after they hit me for no reason. No reason at all. People don't need a reason to attack another person. They don't need a reason. I was an easy lick. If you want to think about people preying on somebody else, who's the easy prey? The person by themselves? Or the Nazis who's got several friends? So Noah's a piece of shit. He's going to keep on harassing me because he can't fucking stop himself. I think he wants to put his hands on me. He's got this homoerotic crush on me and he can't control himself. I remember I told him that he didn't like my dog Tim Tim going around the neighborhood. Come on, guys. Since I want to raise a family, you're supposed to raise plants first, then animals, and then children. So my dogs are like my practice kids. When I told them one of my kids got murdered and another one of my kids was kidnapped, do you think any of them gave a shit? I told them that I didn't like that my dog Tim Tim. I would let him, I was giving him freedom, but I didn't like how he wandered around the neighborhood because it seems like all he wants to do is, eat everybody's food and chew on everything and have sex with everything. And Noah said, he could understand that. You can understand not being able to control yourself? Fucking shit. I don't want to live in a neighborhood where Noah Spalding goes around not being able to control himself, going around stealing people's dog food and trespassing, going around binocularing people, going on with his adrenochrome bullshit on and on and on with that adrenochrome. Shut the fuck up, dirtweed. I don't want to hear about your goddamn adrenochrome fucking addiction, motherfucker. Noah Spalding can't control himself. Okay, that's gross. That's gross. He's too afraid to stand up to the right-wing, racist, child-abusing Nazis. But the anti-Xanis, well, shit. I introduced myself to him and Nick number 2. It was right after my dog had got killed, so I did want some support. But there are also new people in the neighborhood. And I remember right before I went over there to introduce myself, I was like, oh, shit, John, here you go again. Trusting people. Here you go again. Because when I was staying there, I was there for about 8 months in Costilla County. Because I was only there for 2 years. You have to ask yourself, were you kind to me in those 2 years? Did you even say hi? Did you have no home welcoming party? Why don't y'all have home welcoming parties? I even, invited Steve Romero to the house. But these assholes are too fucking smart for me. How can you know a person if you've never seen the inside of their house? But nobody knew that I was kind. I hadn't talked to anybody when I was there. For 6 months, I was just had Tecumseh tied up to the RV. I would go get the lumber and just be so freaking happy when I came back and everything was still in place. Came back and Tecumseh was still there smiling. He was actually protecting and serving. He was being a good little man, a good little soldier, a good rainbow revolutionary warrior. I was very scared that somebody was going to do something, to my stuff, but I was also scared that I left my dog, dog that I loved there by himself too. So something could happen to my stuff, something could happen to him. And then I'd rush and go get the lumber, go get the groceries. And when I came back, I would remember seeing his kind, smiling face. And Nick and Noah both knew Tecumseh. They knew that my dog was a good dog. He wasn't vicious. He wasn't dangerous. My dogs like to wander. I believe in freedom. So I'm practicing for the family, my children that I'm going to raise, and I'm not going to chain them up and put them in a cage. They're going to be able to go where they want to go. But they need to be able to wander around in a good neighborhood. Phil Greeny wasn't allowing me to go bike riding. Phil Greeny wasn't allowing me to just go for a nice stroll in the park. Or I couldn't even fix my fence. Every time I walked out of my house, Phil Greeny was right there. Well, there's another stalker. Let's see, Noah Spalding is stalking me. Phil Greeny is stalking me. And if they're trying to say that there's any good reason for it, there's no good fucking reason. They're a bunch of Nazi fucks. They want to steal and rob and rape. They can't control themselves. Like Noah says, he can't control himself. Mr. Adrenochrome, he cannot control himself. He couldn't stand up to the person that murdered my damn dog, but he knew I was nice. I'm like Jesus. I turned the other cheek. When I think about the three kings, I'm allowed to defend myself. I'm not allowed to defend myself in America. If I was a part of the Three Kings, I'd have a family, a brotherhood, and I'd be allowed to defend myself. Why the fuck can't I defend myself in America? I'm lawful, I'm kind, I don't go around harming people, I don't hurt people, I'm not like this piece of shit. And like I said, I live 50 miles away and I still got those damn Costilla County stalkers. So I know Noah Spalding is stalking me, and Robert Piccarello and Phil Greeny. Are they going to stop? When are they going to stop? I'm a lawful person, and I can't get the cops to listen to me, so when are they going to stop? Now, if I go to jail for 3 years, I'm not going to get raped, so if I'm the Three Kings, I don't know if I'll ever get out of jail. But I'm just thinking about that comforting thought. I'm allowed to defend myself, and, that's a right in nature, it's a right in America, it's a right everywhere. What kind of piece of shit would tell a person that they can't defend themselves? It gives me comfort. I should be allowed to defend myself. Why do I have to go to jail and join a gang just so I can live a life to where Noah Spalding isn't taking advantage of Oksana? I bought him dog food. I bought Noah Spalding dog food. I let Noah Spalding borrow my ladder. You think he even gave that ladder back? No, it's just right there on the thing. And then when I went to go get it, Nick is acting like a dick. And when I bought the dog food, Nick acted like, oh, you need to do, but I can't get to him without passing by you. And they're just fucking all my kind fucking gestures up, huh? Never had a kind person in your life? Never had a kind person. Never had a Christian who says, I'm going to treat you the way I want to be treated. Never in your life. I feel stupid. I feel dumb. Nobody else knew that I was kind until I introduced myself to these assholes. And then once they realized that I was kind, and it's more Noah than Nick, but I wonder if Noah's doing it for Nick's sake. And what the fuck? Assholes. I've never had a safe house in my goddamn life, motherfuckers. I'm building an abuse-free household. You guys are all about child abuse, huh? Because if I ran into somebody that was against child abuse, I'd fucking a jubilee. You want a civil society? You want to have a neighborhood where there's no child abuse? You want to have a crime-free neighborhood in a civil society? Holy fucking shit. Holy shit. Let's throw ourselves a jubilee. This is exciting. Look at this. But if you're a criminal, child abusive fucking piece of shit who don't vote and don't want no civil society, you're a fucking Nazi, child abusive fucking piece of shit. Anti-government, don't tread on me, fucking right-wing sovereign fucking... These people are too smart for me. He's a Hector projector. He's putting shit on me that he himself is guilty of. Noah Spalding shot Shakti. Does that sound like a person that loves his dog? Hey, come on, guys. He shot Shakti. He didn't want to put a chain on Shakti. No, let her be free because he cares so much. He refused to put Shakti on a chain. Dogs like it when you handle it. Hey!